Guess what? Where did the modern alphabet you use every day originate? From the empires that once ruled the world? From Egypt with its hieroglyphs? Or from Rome, the cradle of European civilization? No, all wrong. The real origin of the alphabet comes from a small land. Many people can't even point to it on a map. A place in the middle of the Middle East, but without a single square meter of desert. That land is Lebanon. And that's just one of the secrets Lebanon is hiding. When most people think of the Middle East, they think of endless golden sand dunes and camel caravans slowly crossing the desert. But in Lebanon, despite being in the Middle East, these images do not appear. Instead of deserts, this small country rises into mountain ranges capped with snow. About an hour downhill from the high slopes, the terrain transitions into the Mediterranean shoreline. A clear, open coast that forms the western edge of the country. These contrasts make Lebanon unique in the region too. Long before modern nations existed, the coastline of present-day Lebanon was home to a civilization that changed the course of human communication. They were the Phoenicians, a maritime people whose cities linked the eastern Mediterranean through trade, exploration, and cultural exchange. Among their most significant contributions was the creation of the earliest widely adopted phonetic alphabet, a simple set of characters representing sounds rather than ideas or drawings. This innovation made writing faster to learn, easier to use, and accessible to far more people. From these early symbols came the alphabets of Greek, Latin, and eventually most Western languages. In other words, the structure of the alphabet we read today traces its origins back to this narrow strip of Mediterranean coastline. The Phoenicians carried their writing with them as they sailed to Cyprus, to North Africa, to southern Europe. Spreading a system that would become the foundation for written communication across continents. And it all began here, on the shores of Lebanon. Across the world, there are communities of Lebanese people in almost every major city. From South America and West Africa to Europe Australia, and North America. Lebanon has a population of roughly 6 million people at home, yet the number of Lebanese living abroad is estimated at 18 to 20 million. The reasons stretch far back in history. The Phoenicians, ancestors of today's Lebanese, were maritime traders, accustomed to travel and long-distance connections. Centuries later, waves of migration followed periods of conflict, economic hardship, and political instability, pushing many to seek new opportunities elsewhere. Today, the Lebanese diaspora is one of the largest in the world relative to the size of its homeland. A global network shaped by movement, resilience, and the ability to adapt to life far beyond the borders of a small Mediterranean nation. Perhaps they carry with them a pride in nature, which is printed right on their flag. Among the flags of the world, most nations choose symbols tied to power or belief, but Lebanon is not. At the center of its flag is a single tree, the Lebanese cedar. Known historically as the Cedar of God, it appears more than 100 times in religious texts, including the Bible. For thousands of years, its timber was valued across the ancient world for its strength, durability, and resistance to harsh climates. The cedar became a marker of resilience, a species able to withstand snow, wind, and altitude, remaining upright even in severe conditions. For Lebanon, it represents continuity and endurance, a symbol rooted in the mountains, carried into history, and placed at the heart of the nation's identity. If you want to learn about Lebanese hospitality, look at their dinner table. A meze is often described as an appetizer, but in Lebanon, it functions more like a full dining experience. A traditional spread can include 30 to 60 small dishes, served all at once, filling the table from edge to edge. Plates of hummus, tabbouleh, and kibbeh sit alongside grilled breads, cheeses, pickled vegetables, and seasonal specialties. In Lebanon, eating is not just about food. It is a social practice, a way to connect, to welcome guests, and to make space for community. But the generosity and togetherness at the dinner table does not stop at the cuisine. It reflects the soul of the people here, a strong and enduring desire to live, most clearly expressed when setting foot in the heart of this country. Beirut is the capital and largest city of Lebanon, a place whose long history stands in contrast to its modern appearance. People have lived here for more than 5,000 years, and over that time the city has been destroyed and rebuilt 6, perhaps 7 times, following earthquakes, tsunamis, invasions, and periods of conflict. But every time it is reborn from the ashes. People call this place the Phoenix City that never dies. Throughout the centuries, Beirut absorbed influences from multiple empires across the Mediterranean and the Near East, shaping its architecture, culture, and urban character. After Lebanon gained independence in 1943, the city entered a period of rapid development, becoming a regional center of finance, trade, and cultural life. And it is often described as one of the most modern and internationally open cities in the Arab world. Along Beirut's western coastline, the formations known as Pigeon Rocks or Roush Rocks stand as one of the city's most distinctive natural landmarks. These structures are the result of geological processes that unfolded over millions of years. The name Pigeon Rock reflects the historical presence of pigeons that once nested in the area. And over time, the site has become synonymous with Beirut's natural identity. The rock is composed primarily of limestone, a sedimentary material formed from the accumulation of marine sediments, including shells, coral fragments, and other remains of marine life, deposited on the ocean floor over countless millennia. Continuous exposure to wind, water, and the force of waves along the Roush shoreline gradually eroded the softer layers of limestone, carving out openings, cracks, and small sea caves. Over longer periods, portions of the original rock arch collapsed as the supporting layers weakened, leaving behind the isolated sea stacks now known as Pigeon Rocks. At sunset, the formations take on a different character. The changing light outlines the arches and vertical faces, turning them into sharp silhouettes against. Inland, near Martyrs Square, the Muhammad Al-Amin Mosque stands out with its blue dome and tall minarets. A modern religious and architectural landmark influenced by Ottoman design, marking a point where Beirut's historic layers and contemporary identity meet. Not far away, the Sursak Museum occupies a mansion built in 1912, blending Ottoman and European architectural styles. Once a private residence and now a museum of modern and contemporary art, it remains one of the few surviving historic homes in the city. The damage it sustained during the port explosion of 2020 and the ongoing effort to restore it reflect Beirut's broader struggle to preserve its cultural heritage while continuing to rebuild. But Beirut is just the vibrant outer shell. To understand the true soul of this land, we need to go beyond the honking of cars and modern buildings. And go deep into the earth, where nature created masterpieces millions of years ago. Jeta Grotto is a limestone cave system consisting of two separate but connected chambers, extending for nearly 6 miles through the karst terrain north of Beirut. These caves formed over millions of years as groundwater dissolved the limestone bedrock, creating tunnels, chambers, and vertical drops that eventually opened into the complex we see today. Inside, the formations are substantial: stalactites, stalagmites, columns, and naturally arched ceilings that show clear evidence of long-term geological processes. Among these formations is one of Jeta's most remarkable features, a stalactite measuring about 27 feet in length, considered one of the longest known stalactites in the world. Its size reflects the immense scale of the cave's geological timeline, formed by countless layers of mineral deposits accumulating drop by drop. Some of these formations are among the largest of their kind in the region, and they continue to grow layer by layer with each drip of mineral-rich water. It serves as one of the most important sources of fresh water for Beirut and its surrounding areas, a reminder that beneath the country's urban centers lies a network of natural systems that continue to support daily life. Deep within the rugged northern mountains lies the soul of the land, the holy valley of Wadi Qadisha. It is a deep, narrow gorge carved by water over thousands of years, where steep cliffs rise sharply on both sides and morning fog often settles between them. Along these cliffs, ancient monasteries and hermitages cling to the rock face, many of them occupied for centuries by religious communities seeking isolation and refuge. Among these historic sites is the Monastery of Saint Saba, a structure partly built into the rock, illustrating how monastic life adapted to the valley's difficult terrain. Its position on the cliffside reflects a long tradition of withdrawal and contemplation, characteristic of the early Christian communities that shaped the region. The valley's combination of natural formation and human history gives it a unique cultural and environmental character. The surrounding ecosystem is home to several species adapted to rugged terrain, including the striped hyena, Lebanon's national animal. Nocturnal in behavior, it moves through the valley mostly at night. As a scavenger, it feeds on carcasses, insects, reptiles, and small animals. Using powerful jaws capable of breaking bones, hooves, and horns, an adaptation essential for survival in a harsh and shifting environment. Above the valley rises one of Lebanon's most important natural landmarks, the Cedars of God. These cedar trees, referenced in religious texts and central to Lebanon's national identity, once covered large portions of the mountains. Today, only small stands remain, and changing weather patterns, including reduced snowfall and increased disease pressure, have made their survival more uncertain. In 1998, Wadi Kadisha and the adjacent forest of the Cedars of God were inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both their cultural and natural value. They represent a landscape where geology, ecology, and centuries of spiritual tradition coexist in a single, continuous environment. Not only religious history, the mountains of northern Lebanon also hide geological secrets dating back to the Jurassic period over 160 million years ago. At Januar, the persistent erosion of time has created a breathtaking sight. The Batara Gorge Waterfall, also known as the Cave of the Three Bridges. Here, a vertical waterfall drops more than 800 feet into a limestone pothole, a deep natural sinkhole carved through millions of years of erosion. What makes this site truly unique are the three natural rock bridges that span the opening of the gorge. Stacked one above the other, they formed as layers of limestone eroded at different rates, leaving behind a set of platforms suspended over the void. The three limestone layers that run across the mouth of this cave are the reason why it is known as the Three Bridges Cave, creating a unique geological landscape that is rarely found anywhere else on Earth. The gorge itself dates back to the Jurassic period, roughly 160 million years ago. Its age and stratified rock layers provide a clear record of the region's long geological history, shaped by water, time, and the gradual collapse of the surrounding limestone. Standing in front of this masterpiece, the boundary between reality and fantasy seems to be blurred. Batara Gorge is not just a waterfall, but a cathedral of geology, where nature has spent millions of years creating a beauty that challenges human imagination. But Lebanon's wonders are not limited to geological eras. Down in the Bekaa Valley, we will see giant stone blocks that are not underground, but stand proudly up to the blue sky. Long before the arrival of Rome, the area served as a place of worship for ancient communities who honored local deities, including Baal, from whom the site takes its name. When the Romans reached the region in the 1st century BC, they transformed Baalbek into a major religious center. Over the next several centuries, they constructed a series of monumental temples designed to reflect the scale and ambition of the empire. The largest of these structures is the Temple of Jupiter. Although only a portion remains today, its surviving platform, columns, and foundations illustrate the magnitude of the original complex. The temple once featured 54 Corinthian columns, each standing between 70 and 100 feet tall, with a diameter of nearly 8 feet. The foundation incorporates massive monolithic blocks, including the trilithon stones, some weighing several hundred tons. These elements demonstrate both the engineering capabilities and the architectural priorities of the Roman builders. Nearby stands one of the best preserved Roman temples anywhere in the world, the Temple of Bacchus. Dedicated to the Roman god of wine and ritual celebration, it remains largely intact, with detailed carvings, Corinthian columns, and interior vaults that still convey the scale and refinement of Roman design. The preserved reliefs and stonework show motifs associated with Roman religious ceremonies, offering insight into the culture that shaped the complex. Many of the original structural elements are still in place, offering a clear example of how Roman builders managed weight, light, and movement within a sacred space. Even in its current state, the temple demonstrates construction techniques that pushed the limits of engineering in the ancient world. In 1984, Baalbek was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its historical, architectural, and archaeological importance. The site represents a layered record of civilization, from early Phoenician culture through Hellenistic and Roman influence to the present day, making it one of Lebanon's most important ancient landmarks. In the eastern Bekaa Valley lies Anjar, a city built during the early 8th century under the Umayyad Caliphate. Most likely during the reign of Al-Walid I. These remnants bear witness to the ambitious architectural vision of the Umayyad Caliphate. A rectangular outer wall once enclosed the city, reinforced by 40 defensive towers. Inside, the streets were arranged on a strict grid system, divided by 2 main axes running north-south and east-west. The preserved foundations and partial walls show a blend of Umayyad architectural elements with influences from earlier Roman and Byzantine traditions. Evidence of how these cultures intersected during the early Islamic period. Because of its historical clarity, urban layout, and state of preservation, Anjar was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984. It remains one of the few places in Lebanon where the urban planning of the Umayyad era can be observed in such detail. Leaving behind the silence of the tracks, we head north to the Mediterranean coast, where history is not frozen but thrives on the bustling streets of Tripoli. As the largest city in northern Lebanon and the country's second largest urban center, it is a vivid testament to the intersection of history, commerce, and migration. Its population today is predominantly Sunni Muslim, alongside communities of Alawites, Christians, and Armenians, a demographic mosaic formed over many centuries. Overlooking the old city stands Tripoli Citadel, one of Lebanon's most imposing military structures. The site traces its origins to the Crusades, when Raymond IV, also known as Raymond de Saint-Gilles, established the first fortifications here in the late 11th century. In the centuries that followed, successive rulers expanded, modified, and rebuilt the citadel, turning it into a layered architectural record of Crusader, Mamluk, and Ottoman influence. The complex includes defensive walls, underground passages, vaulted halls, and a network of interior chambers that once supported both military operations and administrative life. Much of its layout resembles a maze, designed to slow intruders and protect the commanding position above the city. The Old City and the Citadel form one of the most extensive surviving ensembles of Islamic urban heritage in Lebanon. In another land, the layers of history run deeper than anywhere else in Lebanon, piling up the ruins of one civilization upon another in a single enduring location, Byblos. On the Mediterranean coast north of Beirut lies Byblos, a city often cited as one of the oldest continuously inhabited urban settlements in the world. Archaeological evidence shows that people have lived here for nearly 7,000 years, moving through the site in successive waves of development, trade, and cultural exchange. It was here, among the ancient Phoenician communities, that an early alphabetic script began to take shape, which would later influence Greek, Latin, and the writing traditions of Western civilization. This contribution alone places Byblos at the foundation of the cultural history of the Mediterranean. Honoring its millennia of civilization and its role as the cradle of writing, UNESCO rightfully declared Byblos a World Heritage Site in 1984. Overlooking the harbor stands Byblos Castle, a structure built by Crusaders in the 12th century. Constructed from large, squared stone blocks, many repurposed from older ruins on the site, the castle is both a medieval fortress and a visible reminder of the layers of history beneath it. Its towers, walls, and interior passages mark a period when coastal strongholds were essential for controlling trade routes and withstanding the shifting alliances of the Middle Ages. Along Lebanon's southern coast lies Tyre, one of the most important Phoenician city-states of the ancient world. With a history spanning more than 3,000 years, the city once stood at the center of maritime trade, shipbuilding, and long-distance commerce across the Mediterranean. Its merchants and sailors helped establish trade routes that connected the Levant with North Africa and southern Europe. Among the city's most prized exports was Tyrian purple, a rare dye extracted from sea snails. To extract the color, artisans cracked the shells and removed a small gland, which was then exposed to air and sunlight. Through a slow chemical reaction, the liquid shifted in color from pale yellow to green, then blue, and finally a deep, permanent purple. And thousands of snails were required to dye a single garment, making Tyrian purple extremely expensive and tightly controlled. The process was complex and labor-intensive, making the dye extremely valuable and closely associated with royalty and political power in the ancient world. Today, these layers of history are preserved within the Tyre Archaeological Site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The complex includes remains from Phoenician, Roman, and Byzantine periods, temples, paved streets, public baths, stone columns, and civic structures that reflect the city's long urban continuity. One of the most striking features of the site is the Roman Hippodrome. Capable of holding up to 20,000 spectators, it is considered the largest and best-preserved Roman chariot racing arena in the world. Its scale and condition offer a rare glimpse into public life and entertainment during the Roman era. Tyre's ruins stand as evidence of a city shaped by the sea, a place where trade, craftsmanship, and imperial ambition once converged, leaving marks that remain visible along the coast today. Amid the Mediterranean waves, a small fortress clings to the rocks, which once protected the ancient trade route. Where the waves crashed into the harbor, it is Sidon Sea Castle, the sea shield of southern Lebanon. For thousands of years, its harbor connected local craftsmen, merchants, and shipbuilders to networks that reached Cyprus, Egypt, Greece, and beyond. Because of this strategic position, Sidon passed through the hands of many empires, each reshaping the city while relying on its role as a maritime gateway. At the edge of the old port stands Sidon Sea Castle, a fortress built by Crusader forces in the early 13th century. Positioned on a small offshore island and linked to the mainland by a narrow causeway, the structure allowed its builders to control access to the harbor and monitor the movement of ships along the coast. The castle's thick stone walls, corner towers, and compact layout reflect the military priorities of the period, securing trade routes, defending supply lines, and maintaining a foothold in a region contested by multiple powers. Although modified over the centuries, the fortress remains a clear example of medieval coastal defenses in the eastern Mediterranean. In the heart of Sidon's old quarter stands the Sidon Soap Museum, a testament to a craft that has shaped daily life along the Lebanese coast for nearly 3,000 years. Soap making in Sidon dates back to ancient times, when local families used olive oil, ash, and aromatic herbs to create one of the region's most valued household products. Over generations, the skill evolved into a recognized trade, supporting both domestic use and regional commerce. The museum preserves this history through tools, archival photographs, written records, and examples of early production methods. The traditional soap-making process in Lebanon is also very methodical. Olive oil is heated and mixed with alkaline agents. The mixture is poured into large molds, cut by hand into blocks, and stamped with the family mark before being stacked in open rooms to cure. Artisans monitored each batch closely, adjusting temperature and ingredients to ensure consistency. Practices passed down through generations rather than written formulas. Some varieties included crushed herbs or natural fragrances, giving each region its own recognizable scent profile. Though simple in appearance, the process required precision and experience, and it supplied communities across the Levant for centuries. Simple ingredients, timeless methods, and a distinctive family seal are the essence of this craft. It preserves a heritage where culture is created by hand, transforming the golden oil of the land into a lasting symbol of Lebanese heritage. Against the deep blue sky of the Lebanese mountains, a pristine white figure emerges majestically. It is not merely a religious structure, but Harissa, the spiritual heart of the nation. Standing beneath the majestic shadow of the statue and gazing out at the vast Mediterranean Sea, anyone would feel incredibly small before the grandeur of nature and faith. At its center is the shrine of Our Lady of Lebanon, marked by a white statue of the Virgin Mary with arms extended outward. A gesture widely interpreted as protection and welcome. The shrine has become a major destination for pilgrimage and tourism, drawing visitors from across Lebanon and abroad. While closely associated with the country's Christian communities, the site is visited by people of different religious backgrounds, reflecting Lebanon's long tradition of shared sacred spaces. A cable car connects the coastal town of Januar to the hilltop sanctuary, offering a gradual ascent above the city. From above, the view opens across Januar Bay, where the curve of the Mediterranean coastline, the dense urban shoreline, and the rising mountains converge in a single frame. Before reaching the high slopes of Mazar, the road passes through Faraya, a mountain town long associated with winter life in Lebanon. For decades, Faraya has served as the gateway to the country's ski region, where seasonal homes, small lodges, and mountain roads gradually give way to alpine terrain. Its role is both practical and cultural, linking everyday mountain life with the higher elevations where winter fully takes hold. Standing out against the white expanse is a towering statue of Saint Charbel, a familiar spiritual figure in Lebanon, visible from across the slopes and surrounding roads. Its presence adds another layer to the setting, where winter sport, mountain life, and religious symbolism occupy the same landscape. As the terrain ascends steeply beyond Faraya, the environment undergoes a distinct transformation. If your definition of the Middle East is scorching heat and dust, then Mazar Kfar Dabian is something entirely different. At elevations above roughly 6,500 feet, the desert gives way to snow-covered terrain and a network of ski slopes stretching across the mountain. This is the largest ski resort in Lebanon and the wider Middle East region. The existence of this place has broken all conventional norms, placing ice sports at the heart of a land the world usually associates with the harshness of the desert. Across the mountain, more than 25 miles of ski runs are laid out, designed to accommodate a wide range of skill levels, from beginners to advanced skiers. Chairlifts and mountain infrastructure connect the slopes, allowing access to open ridgelines and broad downhill runs. Beyond skiing, the area functions as a year-round mountain destination, drawing visitors for hiking, alpine views, and seasonal retreats. Mazar Kfar Dabian stands as a clear example of Lebanon's geographic diversity, where high-altitude terrain, winter climate, and modern recreation converge within a short distance of the Mediterranean coast. Against the backdrop of the pristine white snow of winter, dark limestone pillars rise majestically, breaking the monotony of the landscape. These are the remnants of the magnificent Roman Empire and the eternal harshness of the mountainous region, the Phakra. The complex dates from the 1st to the 3rd century AD. Unlike large concentrated temple sites, Phakra consists of multiple structures spread across open terrain, including sanctuaries, stone columns, inscribed stelae, and a Roman stone bridge. These remains were built at elevation, overlooking valleys and mountain routes that once connected inland regions with the coast. Roman ruins are rarely found in areas that experience regular snowfall, yet here, ancient stone structures stand amid alpine terrain that turns white each winter. If architecture is a mirror reflecting the soul of an age, then Betadine is the most magnificent surviving image of Lebanon in the 1800s, a masterpiece of balance, light, and enduring geometric patterns. The complex blends Arab and Italian influences, visible in its balanced courtyards, arched galleries, and detailed stonework. What defines the palace is its use of intricate stone mosaics and geometric patterns, carefully assembled by hand. These elements reflect a period when architecture was used for governance as well as for cultural ambition and artistic skill. No kings, no empires, just one man and a dream. Musa Castle is proof that history can be built with bare hands. It is the work of a single individual, Musa Abdel Karim al-Mamari, built largely by hand over several decades during the second half of the 20th century. A childhood mockery inadvertently sowed the seeds of an extraordinary will. The memory of the contempt did not fade. Instead, it became a smoldering fire, fueling Musa's determination to prove himself. In 1962, with no formal training in architecture or engineering, he began construction on the site, working mostly alone and teaching himself stonework, sculpture, and basic mechanics along the way. Over time, the structure grew into a complex of towers, walls, and interior spaces. Inside, Musa created life-sized wax figures depicting scenes from Lebanon's past, farmers at work, craftsmen in their workshops, warriors, and village life as it once existed. Each figure was shaped and placed by hand. Today, Musa Castle reflects the outcome of a lifelong effort, where individual perseverance and handcrafted detail give form to collective memory. Deep within the northern Dania Mountains lies a place where the boundary between reality and illusion is completely blurred. Bakun Castle, also known as the Palace of Dreams, stands majestically like a tower stepping out of a forgotten fairy tale. It is not a medieval fortress, nor a relic of empire, but a modern construction shaped by imagination rather than military purpose. Its architecture blends elements drawn from castles, folklore, and decorative art, arranged in ways that follow no strict historical blueprint. Qasr el-Ahlam represents a type of architecture shaped by personal initiative, standing apart from both historical fortifications and conventional design practices. Following the deep blue coastline of the North Sea leads us to Batroun, a coastal gem, a living testament to the country's maritime history. Its old city reflects more than 3,000 years of continuous settlement, with roots tracing back to the Phoenician era, when Batroun functioned as a small but active coastal port. One of the city's most remarkable features is the Phoenician sea wall. Built to shield the harbor from the force of the Mediterranean, it is considered one of the oldest known wave protection structures in the world. The wall allowed ships to dock safely, reinforcing Batroun's role in maritime trade long before modern harbor engineering existed. Inland from the coast, rising above the surrounding landscape, stands Meselha Fortress. Constructed during the 17th century and often associated with the Ottoman period, the fortress was positioned to control movement between the mountain interior and the coastline of northern Lebanon. It was built directly onto a natural rock formation. Its narrow, vertical profile follows the contours of the stone beneath it. With blocks fitted tightly together without mortar, relying on gravity and precise placement for stability. Batroun's old city, its ancient seawall, and Meselha Fortress illustrate how coastal life, trade, and inland defense evolved side by side along Lebanon's northern shore. Here, history is not sealed in monuments. It remains present in cities rebuilt, in landscapes still worked, and in traditions that continue to adapt. On a narrow strip of land, human life has persisted for thousands of years, not as a single story, but as interwoven lives and cultures. Thank you for always being with us throughout today's journey.